rational expressions that contain positive exponents and minus signs and negative exponents, which we've already done a little bit of. Okay, so rational expressions, all rational expression means is that we have variables in the numerator and the denominator. So we just basically have fancy fractions. So we want to distribute with these big fractions. So when we distribute, what we do is we distribute what's on front to each piece on the inside. So this is really no different. It's just a little bit more complicated. So this guy is going to distribute here, and it's also going to distribute to the second piece. So when we're normally multiplying fractions, just multiplying any old regular fraction, like if I was multiplying 2/3 times 5/6, I multiply straight across, right? So 2 times 5 gives me 10, 3 times 6 gives me 18. So when I'm doing fractions like this, I do the exact same thing. I multiply top to top and bottom to bottom. So when I'm looking at this first distributing of this first term, x squared times x squared, numerator times numerator, so what's x squared times x squared? X to the 4th, perfect. And now I'm going to multiply the bottom to the bottom, just like we would for a regular fraction. So y times y, really y to the first times y to the first gives me y squared. Now something that's super important for these guys, if we have this negative here, we can't lose the negative. So make sure we rewrite that negative. And now I'm going to multiply, again, the numerator of what's on the outside times the top of the second piece. So 3y squared times x squared is just going to give me 3y squared x squared over. Now we'd have to multiply the bottoms together. So y times m gives me ym. All right, now I see something in this second piece that I can maybe simplify a little bit. Do you guys see what I can simplify a little bit, Isaac? No, we don't need a cross multiply because this is subtraction here. Just looking at this second term, yeah. Yeah, so I have a y squared and a y, so I can actually make this a little bit more simple. So the first term will stay the same. I can't cancel out anything there. But on my second term, I have a y squared on the top and a y on the bottom. So the 3 will stay the same. Y squared over y just leaves one y on the top, x squared, and then over m. The reason for that is this is basically y times y, right? And then there's a y on the bottom. One of them cancels out. So 3yx squared over m. And that is our final answer. All right, here's another one. Again, we just want to expand using this distributive property. Whenever you guys see one that isn't an actual fraction, you want to start by putting it over 1, so we're sure to distribute correctly. So we start by putting that over 1, and again, I have to distribute this front piece to every single piece on the inside. All right, I'm going to give you guys a few minutes to try this one on your own. Make sure you distribute out every piece. Distribute out the numerators and the denominators to each piece. All right, guys, bring it back. Who got the same answer as their partner? Julia, would you like to share with me what you got? Okay. Minus 3a squared bm. Okay.
Plus 6m squared.
Okay, do you have numerator or denominators on those? There's an a on that also. Yeah.
Okay. Minus b2 plus b6.
B to the 4th. Okay, thumbs up if you agree. Oh. Okay. Okay, so you guys think that Julia got it right. She could have just simplified a little further.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So let's simplify this guy down. Let's look at this first piece to start. We have a m squared x over b cubed a. So Micaiah, what can we simplify on this piece? The a's, yeah. We have an a on the top and an a on the bottom, which can simplify. So if I rewrite this first piece, m squared x over b cubed. Got that taken care of. Don't forget about our negative. Bethany, what can we do on the second piece? Yep. Okay, so I'm going to have 3a squared m over b. So we got rid of one of the b's in that term. All right, finally, who can tell me what cancels out in this last term that's written really badly, poorly? Yeah, Isaac? Nothing. Yeah. 6m squared a over b to the fourth. We don't have anything that's the same in the top and the bottom. So this is our final answer. So Julia wasn't necessarily wrong. It just needed to be simplified further. Okay. Let's try this one. All right, guys. Write this one down. M over z times axp over mk minus 2m to the fourth p to the fourth over 1. Basically over 1. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. All right, so this piece to this piece, this piece to this piece. I multiply the numerators together, so m times axp is just going to be m axp. Multiply these denominators together, zmk. I'm not going to forget about my negative sign. It has to carry down. Now you have to multiply this numerator by this numerator. So, Leah, what's that going to give me? 2m to the fifth p to the fourth over z times 1 is just z. So I think there's only one thing I can cancel in that very first term. I have an m on the top and an m on the bottom. So I'm going to get axp over zk minus 2m to the fifth p to the fourth over z. And that would be my final answer. All right, we got some more crazy exponents. Go ahead and write these first two down, guys. Hey guys, I'll give you more information about this later, but there will be some sort of a notebook check sometime in the future. So I think all of you guys are pretty good at keeping notes, but you guys should stay on top of that. All right, -4 to the -2. So remember, whenever we're looking at exponents, we want to look at what's immediately to the left. This time it's just the 4, right? This negative is hanging out on the front. So if I wanted to rewrite this, that 4 to the -2 puts it in the denominator. The exponent turns positive, and I like to keep the -1 on the top. So this is going to equal -1. 4 squared just gives me 16. All right, who can help me out with this second one? Okay. Yep, rewrite it, -4 squared, because this puts it upstairs, -16. Yeah, because again, this exponent, if I look to what's to the immediate left, is just a 4. There's no parentheses, so that negative has to stay out on the front. So -4 squared with no parentheses just gives me -16. These ones are a little bit trickier. So this one I have two negatives. One negative is outside of the parentheses. The other one is inside of the parentheses. So if I start by looking at this exponent, what's directly to the left of it is a parenthesis. So it's applied to everything that's inside of those parentheses. So if I want to do this one, I'm going to move everything in the parentheses down into the denominator, and it's going to stay in those parentheses. So -4, and that 3 is going to turn positive, but I still have this negative on the front, so it's going to be a -1 in the numerator. We always want to rewrite these before we put a final answer, you guys. All right, so if I do -1, what's -4 in parentheses cubed? Dylan? Positive or negative? Negative. Yep, because I'm going to have -4 times -4 times -4. That's an odd number of negatives, so they don't cancel out. So -1 over -64, a negative over a negative is a positive. So 1 over 64 for that guy. All right, finally, we have sort of the same thing, but now it's in the denominator. So again, the parenthesis is directly to the left, so this -3 is applied to everything in the parentheses. It's going to move up to the top, but I still have a negative on it. So if I want to rewrite this, it's going to be -4, and then I have a +3, because I moved it to the other side of the fraction bar. So we decided that -4 in parentheses cubed is -64, which we got down here. So if I do this again, I'm going to have still have a negative on the front. -4 cubed is -64. And a negative is a positive. More room. +64 for that guy. Got to use order of operations, and remember to look directly to the left of that exponent. All right, grab a whiteboard. All right, guys, these should go pretty fast. Good. All right, guys, listen up really quick. Okay, on your guys' homework, on the test, on anything, you guys always need to write what this is, which sides, and then your final answer. Don't just tell me it's 1 over 16. Tell me that it's 1 over 4 squared, which equals 1 over 16. I'm sorry, that's super annoying. It takes you, what, like 0.5 seconds to write the middle step. So, you can show me the middle step. Show it moving sides. Some of you guys who didn't told me this was negative 1 over 16. I'm sure you wouldn't have done that if you did the middle step. So let's practice on this one. Show me the middle step. Oh, actually, some of you guys, I said it was right and it wasn't. So look at it again. That's not a negative 2. Some of you guys, I said it was nope. Okay. All right, this one, show the moving sides. Sorry, I confused you guys. Show moving sides. Yeah. Last one, guys.
I do too. Okay, your name is 4 letters. Six.
All right, guys, check 18 and 20 with me. Let me know when you have them done.
My bad, I didn't play violet.
So let me grab my handy dandy stuff here. Do 18 and 20 and then we'll
You guys need to be working on your sets right now. Riley, turn around. If you need help, you need to be working on another problem while you're waiting.